Yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to a brand new PSGL League Racing video. This is round number 12, if my mind serves me correctly, around Mexico. And as you can see, I am correct, it's round number 12 around Mexico. 3 rounds to go if you include this one, and we are 13 points ahead of our teammate Freddy Rasmussen, 26 points ahead of Barry Bormand. And yeah, Otis down in P4, but he's serving a 2-race ban. Ismail Fessi down in P5, but yeah, he's also too far away to still have a chance at winning the championship. So yeah, we got a bit of margin, not too much. Freddy has been closing in slowly over the past few races, and yeah, today we're gonna try and extend the lead a little bit again. Mexico historically seen one of my best tracks. This year so far I have not been really comfortable, but yeah, working really hard on that. This is Q1, and yeah, we're down in P11 at the moment with still like I think around 6 people that have to finish their laps. But we're up nearly a 10th, not a great last corner, but we're up nearly a 10th. But as you can see here, oh no, there was an incident after the finish line.
I guess we got lucky.
And yeah, because you cannot take control of your car after the finish line. If your AI crashes, then that's game over. Your car is out. You cannot compete in Q2 anymore. So we got really lucky there that our car didn't complete DNF, but there were 8 people out in Q1 rather than the usual 5. So yes. There was a restart, and now we're doing short quali, so qualifying doesn't take up longer than the entire race. So yeah, short qualifying it is. We had quite a decent banker, but then, yeah, on the second lap, we had a little moment. We were 10th up, which was good. I think that would have put us P3 or P4 at the time. But yeah, on to our 3rd lap then. We had to abandon 1 lap anyway, because there was not enough time for 4 flying laps. And into the final corner we go. We were nearly a 10th up, a little bit of a moment to the final corner, just struggling with the rears for that final corner. And just been struggling with the balance in general anyway. Just either understeer one corner, oversteer the other, or it's just one way is too extreme. We're just struggling a little bit with finding the balance at the moment. Not sure what happened, but yeah, we just have to keep trying, and eventually we'll get it right. But onto our final lap in short qualifying then. We need around 2 tenths on our delta if we want to get pole position, which honestly doesn't seem too likely. We're just lacking a tiny bit of pace again, and that tiny bit of pace is so crucial on this grid, because that tiny bit of pace is going to be 10 positions. So we need to try and hook up a lap here. Nearly 300s up into the 2nd sector. A little bit of understeer through that tight corner right there. And yeah, we've lost the 200s again. So let's see, we have to make up somewhere else. Half a 10th up as we head into the fast S section. This is just a little lift for us actually, that left-hander, and then the rest is flat out. You will see this weekend in real F1, it's not remotely the same. It's gonna be full lift, braking zone for the left-hander, and then lifts for the rest of the S section. But yeah, into the final sector we go. It's not a bad split. We were 1.1 tenths up at some point, but had a little moment again there on the exit, struggling to keep the rears alive throughout the lap, and it's a 113.455, puts us P11. And yeah, that's 1.5 tenths away from pole, which isn't much. That's like 2-3 corners, and you're pretty much there. Maybe a little bit too easy to say that, but you know, it's a tiny bit, but we're just not quite fast enough. Our championship rivals and teammate Freddy Rasmussen in P7, Barry in P4. So yeah, down in P12, we got some catching up to do in this race, and it's not going to be easy once again due to the dirty air to slipstream ratio. So yeah, Let's see what we can do. As you can see there, aiming for a 2-stop. Mexico, one of the few tracks with 2-stop is viable. And we're going to try it today because we're down in P12. If we go for a 1-stop, we're most likely not going to get really far in this race. So we have to try and do something else. And that's exactly what we're going to try and do. Lights out and away we go. It's a long run into turn 1. Straight away tucking in closely behind Lucas Blakely. And now we need to find some space somewhere, maybe down the inside, down the outside. Lucas went around the outside, so I decided to go down the inside. I had to take a little bit of avoiding action because I didn't think the car on the inside there was going to make it. I thought he was going to spin us around if we didn't leave space. So still going side by side with Lucas here into turn number 4, braking deep and using the space available. Up to P11 we go, and maybe we can get Angelo Di Ortenzio into the next right-hander. We can't, unfortunately. Struggling to get the momentum. And now me and Lucas go side by side to the next left-hander. He leaves just enough space, a little bit of contact. But now we got some clean air on our front wing. And we get the move done up to P11. And now we're behind Angelo Di Ortenzio. He is PSGL F2 champion on the PC side. I nearly took him out there. Yeah, I think he pretty much dominated PSGL F2. And yeah, really fast driver, especially on this game.
1920 hard, rest medium.
So yeah, he's right ahead of us in P10. Onto lap 8 we go. And as you can see, not much has happened. And that's what I was talking about earlier. If we're going for 1-stop, we're pretty much not going to get anywhere in this race. We're going to have to try and do something different. And the 2-stop is viable around here. It just really depends on how the race evolves. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but yeah, how the race goes, what strategy other people do, and so on, so on. And yeah, we're gonna come out in second last place. Joni Tormela also boxing from mediums to hards. And yeah, now we're gonna try and undercut as many people as possible. It is obviously not a really long lap, 1 minute 19. On newer tires it's gonna be 118, 117. And struggling a little bit with understeer there. Cold front tires, of course. But yeah, short lap. And that means the undercut's not going to be as big as on a track like Spa, for example. And again, struggling to get the fronts to turn in. But we've got to push flat out. Gap to Joni Tombola behind 4.3 seconds. Gap to Tom Manley at 15.5 at the moment. And you're going to see in the next few corners, we're going to close it up really fast due to the tire advantage. I think C543 around Mexico. You can see just through that section alone, we gained 7, 8 tenths. And obviously Tom Manley had having some dirty air as well, so maybe not a complete fair comparison, but it shows how fast we're gaining. And a lot of other people boxing as well, so we need to have a really good outlap here in order to get as many undercuts as possible. Purple, middle and last sector. And that is obviously due to our new tires. And now we've undercut quite a few people there. And now we're right behind Freddy Rasmussen, our teammate. And let's not forget, he started in P7. We started in P12. So yeah, you can see everyone else struggling with the exact same thing as us in turn 1 with the understeer, cold front tires.
What position was Fred in?
Repeat.
What position was Fred in before?
I'll let you know.
And yeah, that was a good undercut.
Also, does Butcher?
P7.
Okay. Is Butcher in DRS?
I'll let you know. Negative.
The reason I'm asking that is because if Alfie Butcher is not in the DRS, perhaps we could go for a double overtake here. Bit optimistic because we're 1.2 seconds behind. But yeah, if he remains out of DRS for several laps, then eventually his battery will run dry.
Very close, I'm getting told.
Yeah, that way we can go for a double pass. But yeah, Obviously, that is very wishful thinking. It's a 1:17.8 from us, and that's the fastest lap of the race. At this point in time, we are catching really fast
got it.
to the leaders. And more people coming into the box at the end of lap 10. I think Jake Benham was one of them, going quite late for a two-stop or maybe really early for a one-stop. Not sure which way it's going to go, of course, but end
So
of...
Fred is making -1 to our target lap. For your info, Bowie now P10 has wing damage on the one stop. Victory 9
I cannot
informing.
defend Ronar, by the way. He's got lower wings.
And yes, out of lap 21 now, we got Thomas Ronar down our inside.
No point.
He qualified on pole. Boxed at the end of lap 13. So
just for info, behind Jake there is a 2.6 second gap. And that's when a big train starts. Or big out train starts.
yeah, I decided not to fight this too hard because I knew we didn't have the tires. And Thomas just seemed to be a little bit faster on the straight as well. So I decided we are not in the same fight at the moment. Maybe, you know, if you go for one stop and we go for two stop, we can catch late on. But at the moment it is looking a little bit unlikely. So yeah, just have to stick behind now. No one behind us has got more than 2 lap fresher tires. So yeah, we've got some margin. We do have to go for the two stop because we boxed at the end of lap 8. There's no way we can go until the end of the race.
So you happy with target lap, yeah?
Yeah, I might change depending on what the guys I do, I guess.
Alright, yeah. Yeah, you can do what you want. Up to you.
Yeah, of course, if we had safe tires straight away, perhaps it would be a possibility. I'm not sure, but yeah, we've pushed quite hard in order to get as big of an undercut as possible, get an advantage
to call behind 2.6
to the one-stoppers. So yeah, we have to commit to the two-stop now. Not sure, of course, at this point in the race what everyone else is doing. That's always very hard to know what's going on exactly, because some people might just risk a puncture. It's a very annoying thing on the F1 game that you can get a puncture.
Element Crows, same strat.
Randomly from 80 to 100%. It's, yeah, of course in real life people might say, oh, the puncture is random, but there's always a physical reason why your tire punctures. It's not random. But yeah, that's just how it is. I hope for F1 esports at least it gets changed. And the punctures are just given at X percentage, at 85%, 90 or just 100. If it would be 100, I think it actually would be...
Right, should come out behind Reds.
Yeah, I hope so.
Mindful of the recap.
If it would be 100, I think that would be strategically really interesting.
And DOS on exit.
Because we might see some crazy undercuts, but we also might see some crazy overcuts. And that could make the races really interesting.
Try on inter tire. I don't know why, but...
Okay.
So careful with him, you obviously know.
So, yeah, Istvan, I think, tried to change his tires really late on, going into the pits. And
I thought I saw that in the pits. I thought it was a bug.
I think he tried to change from mediums to hards in his tire selection, but then he had no hards. So then he went from mediums straight to inters in his tire selection. And yeah, that's rather unfortunate.
Yep.
So yeah, we had 3 seconds to catch up to Danny Bresnay, which we slowly started to get there, but then yeah, he had traffic here, so that made our life a little bit easier. And now we're right behind Duncan Hovland. We got Barry Bormand ahead of Danny Bresnay, who, as you might have heard Liam say a few laps ago, Barry does have front wing damage. And yeah, he's...
Hovland full battery pitted lap 12.
Okay.
Are we on 50% battery?
And yeah, he's trying to hold everyone up on the 2-stop for his teammate. So we're just gonna play it chill here. This is not our time yet to go for a move on Barry. But as you can see here, there's a little bit of a moment between Barry and Danny Bresney anyway, and that's gonna give us the run into turn number 4 as we nearly lose our front wing there as well. You're gonna get sent a little bit wide here.
Okay.
But we get the move done anyway, so it doesn't matter. Up to P12 we go. Only one position away from where we
You
started.
have 5% over Duncan.
Actually, this was the exact position we started. We obviously gained one position at the start. So, yeah. Duncan Hovland, quite sure he's on the 1-stop as well. And yeah, we got so much faster tires. He's not really going to stand a chance here against us. So, we're going to go for a move on the main straight. And as you can see, the gap is 9/10. He's nearly dropping out of a DRS. And I think he missed DRS to Danny Bresney there by 1,000th or 2,000ths of a second, which is really unlucky. But it makes our life a lot easier. So we're going to turn on the battery, turn on the DRS, and go for the move into turn number 1. Up to P11 we go. And it's already better than where we started at least. But obviously, we want to get a lot further. 7 laps to go. And
So Haas ahead, pitted lap 14. Has a teammate ahead, so might block.
And yeah, we want to, catch up, or we would have wanted already to be catched up to the leading group. But as you can see, we're still like 5-6 seconds behind the train of cars. So yeah, we might catch up, but we still have got the overtaking to do as well. And yeah, I think we just expected the 2-stop to be a lot stronger. But yeah, race was not that straightforward, and that's really unfortunate. You might be sitting at home and thinking, how did he not know? And that's because if you test a 1-stop versus a 2-stop.
No, just for info, next 2-stopper with tire advantage to you is 10 seconds behind you.
Yep.
So he won't catch you.
And the 2-stop is 5 seconds faster than the 1-stop. You might be thinking, we have to do a 2-stop. Unfortunately, that's not how it always works, as you can see right here. Due to DRS and due to traffic and even more reasons, the 1-stop just ended up being a lot faster. And with 6 laps to go, you can see, we finally can see the leading train, but there's only 6 laps to go. And our tire advantage is getting less and less by the lap. Thomas Gall right ahead of us. If we get him, we get a point. Obviously not sure about any penalties further up ahead, but we cannot be too sure of that anyway. So let's see if we can get past on the main straight. He's 7 tenths behind Daniel Bresney. I don't think he will be able to break out of DRS, so we're gonna have to do this purely on pace and a bit of talent maybe. To the final corner we go. See, with 3.8 tenths behind, 3.3, and Thomas Gall nearly out of DRS. The gap is 9.5 tenths. But yeah, just because we're 3 tenths behind doesn't mean we're getting any more slipstream. Because why would we? So yeah, we're gonna have to settle one more lap behind. I decided not to burn too much battery because you can see on the next lap we're a lot closer. We're 2.6 tenths behind entering the straight. Now 1.9, and now we're really close. 1.6, 1.4 tenths is the gap, and again,
Unlucky.
we're not
No
really
slipstream.
getting any slipstream, so we're gonna have to do this on the braking. We're gonna go really late on the brakes into turn number 1 and get the move done. And yeah, luckily Mexico turn 1 is really wide. You can go for that kind of move.
Train lapping high 18s.
So we're not catching.
And yeah, on to at the end of lap 35 we go, still in P10. You can see Danny Bresney has managed to overtake her teammate Freddie Rasmussen, who boxed 1 lap earlier than us and Danny. So yeah, we've caught up to the leading train. or not even the leading train actually, this is a train for P3. The top 2 has taken off, and yeah, it looks like strategy didn't quite work today, although at the same time we did start in P12, so perhaps it wasn't the end of the road at all, but we didn't just really have a chance at winning the race today, which is frustrating, but it is what it is. We're not really going to get a chance here as well on Freddy because the dirty air is going to be too big. We only got a 1 lap tire advantage, and yeah, the gap is just going to remain 5/10 throughout this middle sector. The only thing we can hope for here is that maybe Danny Bresnay goes for a little aggressive move. You could see him think about it there in the fast S section, but he couldn't get the move done. Too much dirty air, and then he got a poor exit as well because of it. So into the final sector we go. Trying to set up the exit nicely here, even though there's not a massive exit. Still hoping that something happens here, but unfortunately nothing happens. And we're gonna come home in P10. And yeah.
Yeah.
Every race is shit these days. Not the most exciting race, of course. Again, I do hope at some point, you know, EA would listen to us about potential game issues. You know, I don't think the slipstream would be too hard to fix. And, you know, it's not even the slipstream itself. It's the difference between a second to 1/10. You know, you should be getting a lot more slipstream when you're 1/10 behind someone compared to a second behind someone. You know, there is quite a lot of slipstream if the car ahead of you doesn't have slipstream, if you get what I mean. If you're like a second back, you're getting quite a lot of slipstream, but it's just the increment, and because we're in a DRS train, it's just, yeah, it becomes impossible to overtake because there's no increment in slipstream. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, subscribe, and see you guys next time. Ciao.